Shh, shh, don't the monsters come over here?
They're not monsters, Lex. They're just animals.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Frankenstein's podcast, where it's all about the monster. We're a creature feature podcast about monsters and why we love them. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Praska, and with me is...
your other host, Khalid Hussein.
What's up, Khalid?
What up, Joe?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Did I just alpha you? I feel like you just retreated into yourself.
I did a little bit. It's okay. It happens.
I'm sorry. How are you?
I'm great. You asked me like 3 times.
I'm sorry.
You're drunk.
I'm drunk with alpha power.
Yeah.
I am also good. I don't know if I've answered that in the 3 times I asked you.
Probably not. I forgot.
Yeah. Doing good. Labor Day weekend. Chilling. I got some people coming over to grill tomorrow, so I'm getting the house ready for that. What about you?
No, same. I'm, getting ready for start of the school year coming up. Always, anticipating that. So other than that, just chilling, like you said. One more day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But really, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks.
Do we have any guests today?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, you know what? We have not 1, not 3, but 2 guests with us today, Khalid.
I feel like that's hovers in the dad joke realm. The not 1, not 3. I feel like that's very dad joke adjacent.
Yeah.
He does it every time.
Speaking of, joining us is our frequent co-host, guest host, Nicole Praska. Welcome.
Hello.
What's up?
What up?
I'm doing about the same as you. We live together.
Also, back from Xenomania is our good buddy Grant Leitbrouck. Welcome back.
Woo! Thank you. Good to be back for the 3rd time. I think it was Alien 3, and then it was the D&D movies.
It was the Dungeons and Dragons double feature. Yeah, that actually was really good in Xenomania, so I should have said that first. But both very cool.
Yes, really good times.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Really, really good. This year's been pretty wild. The wife and I became parents this last winter.
Congrats.
And so that is a lot in every way. And right now he's just in such a fun stage. He's got some teeth coming in, but he's sleeping really good. And he's also just really playful and fun, and he laughs and just grabs everything and just wants to smile at everybody and interact. So he's just a bundle of joy, and I love him so much. So,
and now he's a Jurassic Park fan.
Oh yeah. He's there for part of that. And he loves dinosaurs for sure. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Got to start
him. Dinosaurs rule.
Yep.
Before we dig into what we're talking about today, I do want to give a quick shout out to a new patron that we have on the Patreon. We have our regular Patreon producers who are always listed on there, but just newly joining the Patreon is Adam Merrick, who listeners might remember as a guest back in our Clash of the Titans episode. So thanks for joining us, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
What up? Anyway, Khalid, guess what?
What?
I got a question for you.
I have a question.
Oh, okay. It's
All
the
right.
co-host. What's up? Let's see it.
What do you call a dinosaur wizard?
Oh, that's a good one.
A dinosaur wizard? What do you call a dinosaur wizard? I don't know. What is it?
Slytherinsaurus.
No.
I'm going in a different direction.
You are.
What is it?
A dinosaur.
Oh, that's really good.
I was working with sorcerer in my head, but I missed it.
That was pretty good.
That's good. That's really good.
I have one more, though, actually. What do you call twin dinosaurs?
Twin dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Neoraptor? No.
Mirror. I like where you're going with that. Okay, what do you call twin dinosaurs?
No, I don't know.
This is going on too long.
Identipterodactyls.
I like that
Pterodactyls.
Oh, pterodactyl.
Pterodactyls.
Pterodactyls,
Oh.
beautiful. Love it.
I would like to say, for the record, my guess was
You
within
did.
the spirit
You were
of
close.
it.
It was. I like that.
I'm sorry, I stole your thunder.
No, I have to follow that now. That's great. Those are good ones.
They were.
I mean, mine is also great. So,
Oh, okay, let's
Yeah.
try it out.
what does a triceratops sit on?
A stool?
Tricerasicle?
It's tricerabottom, not its tops.
Ah, God. Okay.
Nikki, if you don't
Ooh,
want to just come in
that's a
full
dad
time
joke
on,
for sure.
on Pun
For
Patrol.
jokes?
I mean, they
Yeah.
were all equally dynamite, you might say.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't.
Please
You
go.
could also say it was triceratop notch.
Mm, eh.
Khalid's throwing
Yeah.
up.
No, I wouldn't. I also
Some
would
of those
not.
might have to go extinct.
And that's the segment, Khalid. What are we talking about today?
Thanks for asking, Joe. Today we're talking about the 1993 sci-fi action adventure film Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg, and I've got a synopsis from your homeboy Khalid, me, that goes a little something like this. John Hammond had a dream. A crazy dream. It would cost a fortune and a miracle, but he had to try and attempt the impossible. Get the world's 3 hottest scientists to come hang out with him for the weekend. To his dismay, it lands on the same weekend he has to babysit his grandkids. But hopefully a chain-smoking Sam Jackson and some precariously caged dinosaurs will keep them distracted.
What a monster.
They're creatures of the abstract that live off potential energy.
Nice.
Thank you.
You're like telling a story with that one. That was pretty good.
I figured this one is like, it's Jurassic Park. Like, everyone knows the general bit of it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
for me, it's funnier to look at it through the lens of, like, he's like, what's the coolest thing I could do to get just, like, the 3 hottest scientists of the 90s to converge all at once?
Right?
Yeah.
That's good. That was good. All right.
Thank you.
So a little bit of background here before we start digging into the movie. So this was based on Michael Crichton's 1990 novel of the same name, which was intended to be a screenplay before he even wrote it as a novel. Before it was settled that Spielberg would direct with Universal Pictures, there was a big bidding war. Warner Brothers wanted to bid and have Tim Burton direct.
Oh.
Columbia Pictures bid and wanted Richard Donner of the Superman fame.
Okay.
20th Century Fox bid and wanted Joe Dante. So very different possibility for films there, the different outcomes. Also, James Cameron revealed more recently that he himself bid for the rights, but he said he's ultimately glad that he did not win because he envisioned it more of like a hard R-rated, like a kind of scary movie. So he's glad that Spielberg got to do it. So that's kind of a little bit of history of how we got where we were. Curious though, before we get into Jurassic Park, do you guys have any background with Michael Crichton as an author?
Nope.
Grant,
No.
Khalid?
Yeah, no.
I saw a picture of him once, and he's like 6'9".
He's very tall. He's very tall. He is a pretty, well-known like thriller / like scientific sci-fi, like bio thriller kind of writer. He has an MD from Harvard, never practiced. Works are like often cautionary tales of like science and stuff and playing God and hubris, as you can see from this theme. Some of his famous ones that he wrote, Andromeda Strain, Westworld, Congo, Sphere. Those are all some big ones. So a lot of his stuff has become movies. He was pretty well respected. However, he did have some wonky like climate change views later in his life. He died, I think, in 2008. But so he had some weird views there. But otherwise, pretty prolific science fiction writer for a long time.
Wow, it's very cool.
Yeah, kind of interesting. But anyway, that being said, let's get into some thoughts. Grant, what do you think of Jurassic Park?
Well, this was my movie that I requested.
Yeah.
I think when you guys first started doing the podcast, I was like, "Oh my gosh, guys, my favorite monster movie of all time is Jurassic Park." And so it's like, I know this is not what you guys typically address because it's usually not things that sort of used to exist. But number one, like dinosaurs haven't been around for millions of years, right? And number two, the ones that are in the movies are not really true to what we know are dinosaurs now, right? The T-Rex now we know has like sort of feathers and a different kind of gait and things like that. Velociraptors are actually quite small. They're like knee high. What we see in the movie is closer to like a Utah raptor. So it's a completely different kind of thing, but it's true to like my childhood because I loved dinosaurs. And the last time I saw this, I was 4 years old and so scared I was just viewing it through the holes in a blanket with my parents. So excited to watch this. I was not disappointed. It did have a couple hokey moments, but overall, man, it aged really well. I think it's just a great film.
How about you, Nicole?
I also really love this film. I not immediately when you started this podcast, but I feel like I brought it back around. I think I don't remember why. Oh yeah,
you were
I know.
pushing.
I know.
You were saying like earlier this year. You were like, you got to do Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So I guess like I think I've talked about this podcast before because we kind of imitated it in the past. But Films to Be Buried With by Brett Goldstein. I was listening to his with oh my god, I can't know her name. Abbott Elementary.
Quinta Brunson.
Thank you, Quinta Brunson. His episode with her on, and she was talking about how much she loved Jurassic Park, and she was talking about how it like inspired her to want to like do like films and TV and be a creator in that realm. And I was like, dang, that's so cool because I feel like Jurassic Park inspired me on like my path to become a scientist. And I was like, wow, look at this like one movie like inspiring people all over the place. In fact, one of like the trivia pieces is how paleontology had kind of fallen or waned really during the space race and the atomic age. But according to Dr. Nate Smith of the Natural History Museum, their Dinosaur Institute, Jurassic Park coming out generated a bunch of interest amongst young people that wanted to become paleontologists and get into the field. And so as a result, kind of really fast track new dinosaur species being discovered since then, roughly about 50 new discoveries per year.
Amazing. Love that.
So really push like paleontology back into like the forefront of, like I guess popular science in a way.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. I mean, I'm not a paleontologist. If folks have listened to any of my other episodes, or maybe my first episode where I talk about my job, I'm a forensic scientist. But the path still kind of started there. Like I did want to be a paleontologist when I was a kid. But then it just sort of evolved a little bit, like to kind of like archaeologist, and then maybe like a forensic anthropologist, and then just kind of a regular just forensic scientist. So anyway, I feel like this and like Grant said, like we were like 4 or 5 years old when this came out. So really young, but I remember watching it as a kid over and over and over again, not just once. This and weirdly enough, Apollo 13 were like two of my favorite movies as a kid. Besides like, I mean, I like Disney as well, but like I would watch these as a child. These like, live action kind of like sort of drama, like science-based films. So Jurassic Park has a special place in my heart.
Absolutely.
And, I hadn't watched it in a long time, but it's a lot of fun. Like I feel like I was like saying the lines along with the movie, with probably much to Joe's annoyance, but
I liked it. No,
yeah,
that makes me happy.
Okay, so not much else to say. I agree with Grant. There's a couple things that I'm like, yeah, maybe it didn't age very well, but like it's super minor. The special effects are still killer, and just like iconic. And the theme music is amazing. Everything.
John Williams. So good.
So anyway, that's my whole spiel. Great.
Well said.
5 out of 5.
How about you, Khalid?
This was one of the. I think Spielberg was one of those ones where like I came to like a random assortment of his films as a kid. So like this and E.T. and a couple other ones just like missed me entirely. Meanwhile, I definitely watched like Catch Me If You Can way too many times as a child. So I don't have like the same like nostalgia for it, but I definitely remember it, and I remember the impact that it had. So it's not surprising that like you were talking about just like this like resurgence of interest in paleontology as a study, and everything else that like you guys are saying about it inspiring people all our age that are adults now to go in like different but understandable directions because of a movie like this. but no, but because of that, I do kind of come at this more like in my older like film student or like film student graduate like mindset of like it's so clever to basically make an amusement park like the plot of your movie. It's so it's such a like entertaining and fascinating way to just have exposition for an hour and not even realize it. Like I love the Mr. DNA sequence. I love them
Yeah.
driving around the park and like just getting like the rundown on it all. And it's like, oh yeah, the exposition is the movie. And it's like so fun, and I love that we have scientist characters that actually care about the science. Like it's not
Mhm.
it's not like Mark Wahlberg in The Happening science.
Oh my god.
God.
So you know, like when Laura Dern is like eagerly hunting for dino shit, like
Yep.
it's like that's real as hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like I think that like it's such a great like magic trick of filmmaking to like just sit people down for an hour and kind of just take them through the amusement park along with the scientists and hear all of these like conversations about like chaos and like DNA gene splicing, and they even address that like dinosaurs might not look exactly like this in the movie, and like a fun like, oh yeah, we know what we're talking about even then, even if we kind of got it wrong. um and then yeah, it pivots into a horror movie for the last hour or so that I'm kind of in and out on, honestly. And it's not necessarily like the movie's fault. I feel like horror is like one of the lesser talents of Spielberg, or like it wouldn't showcase him the best, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it's interesting when you mentioned James Cameron was like a contender for this, because I'm like, oh, he would have made a horrifying Jurassic Park
I
that
would have
might
liked
have
to see
like
that actually.
sent a lot of people on a different trajectory in retrospect. But also, like that's a guy that like, you know, especially with the success of Aliens, like you're like, yeah, no, this dude would have made a pretty effective dinosaur horror movie. So it didn't get, it's not as like exciting for me, especially like the nighttime sequence and everything and the raptors coming after them. It's not bad by any means. It's just it's the least like revolutionary part of it to me, which is like, you know, not an insult by any means. Like you don't need the whole movie to like reinvent the wheel. But I guess that's my initial thoughts. What about you, Joe?
I also, similar to Grant and Nicole, have watched this when I was little. Like I was 4 when we went to see it. I remember my parents saw it before me, and they were like, "Oh, they heard it's scary," but then like, we'll bring Joe, and so they brought me in like a.
Sounds accurate.
It does sound accurate, but they brought me in like a drive-in. I remember this because we were in a car watching it, and that was really exciting, and it got me super into dinosaurs. It inspired me to bother my parents to want to buy a Jeep Wrangler for many years.
Yes.
The vehicles were so cool. Like
They
I don't know,
were. They are.
the design, like the Ford Explorer 2 was all of it. I had toys of those, like absolutely loved those. That was really cool. To what you're saying, Khalid, about the horror elements, I think I kind of understand what you're saying, because I do feel like when they try to do like scary bits, I was kind of like, huh. Like I think the raptor and the kitchen scenes were really good.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think like when the T-Rex like throws the like goat leg on the window.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like I was like, that's like really intentional. And I don't know if a T-Rex would do that. So that was kind of funny to me.
Yeah,
But,
like these dinosaurs have like a vendetta against these people, and it's not
Yeah.
entirely always clear why. Other
Yeah,
than they're
that
just loose.
Yeah, that was funny. But otherwise, like it's absolutely stunning. This movie is kind of like, to me, like a Men in Black in a sense, where I think like revisiting it makes me just truly appreciate just like that 5 out of 5 star element that this movie is. But like I think that sometimes our general public or like pop culture or like the zeitgeist like takes these movies for granted a little bit because of the franchise that spawned from them a little bit, and how those franchises people just kind of another one of them, right? But like we go back to the original, it's like, yeah, I mean that movie is really good. But like, yeah, some of the sequels don't really do it justice in that regard. Unfortunately, we kind of forget how good that first one was, you know?
Okay, so
But-
what is your experience with the sequels? I'm going to cut in. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because you
that's
asked
fine.
me, and I was like, none of them. I've seen
Yeah, you've seen
none
none
of them.
yeah.
Only
None of the sequels?
no,
Yeah.
absolutely zero.
I've seen up through the first Jurassic World, and I have not seen on since. I liked The Lost World. I read the book. I read the first 2 books that Michael Crichton wrote. So I read the original 2 books. They're very different. But I like the Lost World movie. It's definitely more flawed. Jurassic Park 3 was, I thought, a little rough. I think some people love it, but like that's when the Spinosaurus comes in and like kind of takes the reins from the T-Rex as the big bad. I remember my dad watching that with me. He was so pissed. He was like, "Oh, that's not T-Rex."
Jeff Goldblum got a black daughter in that one, right?
The second one, yeah. Then she does gymnastics. Yeah, she does gymnastics.
That's the one I always remembered. Is like when she does
it's very for people listening and not watching. We're doing the gymnastics round the bar thing, but yeah, so that was fine. Jurassic World, I don't know. It was that one. That's kind of where it crossed into the line of just like too like polished, like the little domes and everything just looks too clean. Sometimes in modern blockbusters at times.
I also love like the weird, definitely like sexist and insulting to women's storyline of like Bryce Dallas Howard's character of like it felt like a Hallmark movie. It's like, can't she run a dinosaur park and find love? Like,
God, you guys are not.
This was with Chris Pratt. That first one he did. Yeah, I remember that.
That was like, we were like, oh yeah, like Chris Pratt's potential is endless because at that point his resume was like Parks and Rec and the first Guardians, and then we immediately figured out the limitations.
Right, that was before we found out he was like a homophobe and just like an awful human being, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I've seen I think the first one, and then I think Lost World was maybe the second one. I think I missed the third one. And I saw the Chris Pratt first one, and I think that's it so far.
Okay.
Khalid, have you seen the most recent Rebirth?
No, I have not seen Rebirth.
I kind of wanted to go see it before recording this, but we just didn't get a chance to, just to have that context. But
it just didn't feel real, I guess. Like it felt like the last one just came out, and then they were immediately rebooting it, but it was a sequel. But like none of the cast were returning. And I was just like, I don't know. This feels like you have some weird like deal where you have to make a Jurassic Park every 6 months, or you lose the rights.
Right. So did you see the one prior to this one? I didn't see that, but I heard it's about locusts.
What?
No, I've not seen the Locust cut.
Okay.
The last one I remember seeing fully through was the second Jurassic World, and it was cool for 2 seconds because the ending made it seem like we were gonna get the next one to actually be dinosaurs in the world, but it sounds like from people's reviews that that's not really what we got.
That's too bad.
No,
I know. I stick with the first one. I think the first one is where it's at. I mean,
the one moment in the first one where I went, was when what's his name, the Nedry, the nerd guy,
Wayne Knight, Nedry.
His truck gets stuck. And it's like, he's in a rushing river, and he's starting to get stalked by the acid-spitting thing, the Diplodocus. Mm-hmm. And, like, he's, like, trying to get his winch going on his truck, and he slips and falls. And as he does, I swear to God, there's, like, a Looney Tunes slip sound effect that happens in the background. and I was watching this with my wife and her sister and her wife. And we're like, and I stopped and I said, was that a Looney Tunes banana slip sound effect? And they said, no. And we backed it up and we all said, no way, it was.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a slide whistle. And it's like, they didn't do that for anything else in the entire film. They just decided to throw in this little cartoony, corny thing. And I was like, why Spielberg? Like,
it was illegal in the 90s to let a fat guy slip and not use a slide whistle.
God.
They eventually repealed it, but it took a lot.
Surprised they didn't use like a tuba or something like that. Right?
No, they repealed that in the 60s.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
I mean, okay, so that one small bit aside, I did want to like compliment the sound design overall. Like there are a lot of iconic sounds. Actually, I have this fact that it's like Spielberg this was the first film to use digital sound, and he funded the creation of DTS, which we see in the beginning of movies all the time, digital theater systems, to allow audience to like really hear like the sound design as he'd hoped to hear it. And the sound effects crew was actually supervised by George Lucas.
Wow.
So yeah, it was like the sound design, he was very intentional. So you could take that also, Grant, as like he was very intentional with the whistle too.
I guess so.
Yeah, so I mean, was thinking all about it.
Yeah, it's a choice. Not all choices are great.
Yep.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the choice to never have Samuel L. Jackson not have a cigarette in his mouth?
Right?
I don't know how he kept it in his mouth though. Like when he's talking, like they have the close up of it. Like
It had like Topstick or something on it.
That
Like,
was really
I think
cool.
It was, like, glued to his lips.
Just talking out of the side of his mouth the whole time with it too.
I'm gonna be honest. It was kind of funny at first, but he looked like a Muppet by the end. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not used to seeing him with hair, so that kind of
Like a little bit of hair, yeah.
But he's so cool. He's so
cool as hell. But
please,
that and Goldblum is just dripping with personality in this movie. Oh my god!
Yeah,
he has the best quotes, hands down. So
Goldblum,
amazing.
yeah,
yes,
all the quotables. I will say his stance feels very just like contrarian though. Like he feels like he's like a scientist of being like a troll.
but all of his stuff that he says, like especially in the beginning, it's like he's kind of right though, right?
Okay,
but then he's also like, I'm pro chaos. What's more chaotic than a dinosaur park, then, Jeff?
That's true. That's a very good point.
What do you either like chaos or you don't, dude?
Yeah.
The lawyer, we actually were like, wow, the lawyer. I mean, like he's
the lawyer
like
was
that.
right sometimes. He was kind of a jerk, but like
he's definitely supposed to be like the asshole character. But like Joe and I were like, he's kind of right in the beginning.
Character arc, like I feel like it was Dr. Grant and the lawyer both actually had like a real arc
where their minds were changed
a lot throughout the film. Like everybody else was kind of just the same.
Everyone's reaction to the lawyer's death, though, was pretty chill. Like they're like, "Oh, I think this was what's his name? Oh, this was two over here."
Yeah,
like,
they just found body parts.
Just
and they're like,
jokes,
I think that was,
just jokes.
Or like maybe just I don't know. Maybe it wasn't body parts, but
yeah,
I don't know. It was very chill. And then like there's something later where I feel like they were like really stressed out, and I'm like, they were not as stressed about the lawyer, but okay.
I mean, that's the other thing that really speaks to the movie, that like the tension stuff gets cut a lot. You know, it's supposed to be in my mind when I think back to this movie. It's like, oh yeah, it's like an hour of just like wonder, and we see dinosaurs and stuff, and then it's like bang, wall to wall action. But it's not wall to wall action. It's like some intense action, and then like John Hammond is like sitting down with Laura Dern having tea. Like, it's really broken up in a way that feels like jarring to me.
Spared no expense.
No expense.
Sure, yeah.
There are some things also where I was just like, when Laura Dern goes out and she gets out of the car, you know, they all get out of their cars when they shouldn't, and they're like, oh my gosh, Triceratops, they're gonna go see it. And then she's like over here talking to this park ranger who works at the park and works with this Triceratops. She's like, see, the eye is dilated, and that's because this, and you should do this. And the ranger's like, oh, really? And it's like, she's a paleobotanist. Like, she knows plants, but apparently she knows more about this live Triceratops than the park ranger who works with it.
I thought the same thing, yeah.
Like, I call bullshit on any of them, knowing any of it. It should just be like, oh, this is the first time we're seeing an animal. It's all been theory up until now, but they're all very much, like, exactly right about whatever they say these, like, dinosaurs
Because they're the best scientists.
They're the best of the best.
Yeah. Come on.
And the
they're
hottest,
the hottest.
Yeah.
I've never said they were the best.
But he was also, I mean, there was a high confidence level of the whole like T-Rex doesn't see you when you move piece, which is totally not real.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But there was a lot of they put a lot of stock into that. The characters did, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And I mean, you know, that's like letting Spielberg be Spielberg. You know,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so ultimately a good scene trumps anything else, like in terms of motivation for decisions.
Yeah, you got to have fun with it. The first scene where we see the Brachiosaurus, right?
Oh,
that first sequence, like
majestic,
truly iconic. And like we're watching it, and it feels like. I think that I heard that it was actually hard for them to really capture the emotions because they're not looking at anything in the actual like film when they're actually doing it. They had to like really do that, but like, it's cool because like that's the reaction of everybody at that time. You know, like everyone's being like, "Oh my god!" Like we've never seen anything like this on screen before. Like now, I think we're kind of spoiled.
Take it for granted a little bit,
we do because we can see so many special effects of like anything, but like it's it's sometimes like I feel like it was almost just special to like go back and be like, that wonder is not just in camera, like that's just like that was everybody watching it too.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like
When
that.
I was watching it, I was also kind of like, why would you get within 20 feet of this huge dinosaur that
20
could just
feet?
accidentally smush you? Like, they got so close to it.
No, I know, yeah. I
Think of
agree.
them as big cows. That's what he said, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when they're in the tree, it's more chill because they're face to face, but
That seems even more concerning to me. But anyway.
especially if they have colds.
Oh, yeah. No lasting repercussions in like some ancient virus.
I feel like ancient
coming
dino
alive
DNA or
whatever.
viruses or sicknesses or something comes through with that.
No.
Yeah.
Not.
Also, is the idea that they just found like a bunch of mosquitoes frozen in rosin and they all just happen to have, they managed to get like one of every mosquito that bit one of every dinosaur?
Well, of the ones that they have in the park, I guess, yeah.
Theoretically.
Theoretically.
Plus a ton more that we see in the sequels.
I just wonder if they were doing like a Pokemon Go style thing of just like, oh, we already got this mosquito. Just like tossing it.
You're getting into some deep science questions there, Clea.
I guess from like the
Someone
mind
has
they
to
had in
ask the tough
beginning,
science questions.
It was just like one mind that had all of those mosquito in amber.
They're from all over the world, right? Like, I know Pangea, maybe. I don't know. They're all in one spot.
Well, yeah. At one point, all these continents were just one smushed up.
So all the mosquitoes came together to die.
Right.
Very convenient. Oh, very thoughtful mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, I was kind of curious. I was trying to learn about like what sort of practicality there was in like the idea. Like, and it sounds like, I mean, I think that I like the thought, right? We talked about this earlier. I like the thought of like going to mosquitoes and like trying to like have this like logical way of doing it. And then of course splicing with the frog DNA to like account for like the differences and not exact science and all that. It's really clever, but there's a lot of articles that talk about like the likelihood of like the DNA being like totally preserved. And even if a mosquito was preserved like that, like being pretty low enough to like actually have anything to actually make something from. Yeah, but I mean, I still think the science is kind of cool.
It's fun. Yeah.
It's very fun.
There is that Theranos-y logic of it, of like, yeah, how could you get that much information from a drop of blood?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you shouldn't be a con artist. You should just
they are bringing back
mammoths
so that, it's like, there's like, obviously the limit is within tens of thousands of years, but it's still pretty cool that we're sort of starting to really delve into that now.
With mammoths, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of want to circle back, Nicole. You were talking about how Jurassic Park like inspired like real life science. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of really cool like information about that. Like, so there's this other quote that I got from a paleontologist named Steve Bursett. And he said, quote, "Jurassic Park is one of the best things to ever happen to paleontology. This newer image of dinosaurs as an active, energetic, and intelligent animal was so different than the dinosaurs I read about in my books, and that was great." So ultimately, what he goes on to say is that like the interest that sparked from it, like DNA research, ancient DNA research, paleontology, led to like a significant surge in like grants being funded. Like more research funding for these projects, people getting into this, like as you said, like it had kind of died out, like the interest in this field a little bit, right?
You could say it went extinct.
It could
extinct.
say it went extinct a little bit, or nearly extinct, but there was a surge of new scientists.
I'm just doing what you do in every other episode.
I appreciate it,
Nikki. I disagree. You're doing it better.
Wow. But the thing that I thought was kind of interesting was that the scientist said that the one kind of drawback was like the depiction of like what DNA can do led to like some really extreme increased expectations that people and maybe even funders had of what they could do with the DNA, especially ancient DNA, when they were like doing these projects.
Just a story, guys.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. But other than that, like it was like huge for the field.
But I will say, because we're big Star Trek fans, that certainly media and entertainment and iconic kind of sci-fi pillars like this can sometimes move the needle in real life towards actual discovery.
Totally. Like,
So-
yeah, like Star Trek's a good example, but also like James Cameron too. We talked about like basically just building machines to do science things so he could learn about things to make movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it's gonna be like the movie kind of position there, where it's like every once in a while they'll do like a coupon day for pores.
That's right. Yeah, we'll have a coupon day.
And then it's just like the wealthiest of the wealthy get to enjoy it. Like that's what would happen now. It's not like the J.D. Rockefeller days of like we better build a couple things for the public or they're gonna hang us. Like now it's like everything's for the rich.
No, I don't want to go in a Titanic submersible.
Nope.
No.
You know, in the book, the Hammond character was way more of like a capitalist. Like I think his whole thing was just about like profit, and it wasn't like they really softened that character in the movie, probably because Richard Attenborough is like likable, maybe, I don't know, but
I mean, you know, having David Attenborough as your brother probably makes you probably
it humbles you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, like they give him like grandkids and stuff. But like, yeah, I don't know. It is interesting because I do still see him as kind of a villain in the story, though. Like,
oh, he is.
You know,
he's
like
the biggest monster of the film.
Yeah, that's
the
exactly
T-Rex is significantly larger, Grant.
Yes, physically.
Okay, so that's funny because we're all skirting around
weight
Nedry.
Volume, yes.
Okay, yes, we're skirting around Nedry. Exactly. That's a really good point.
I mean, Nedry made his own choices, but also
suffered for them.
I'm sorry, but you can't be sitting around as a boss going, we spared no expense, and then the one guy that's been asking for more money gets a no. Like,
yeah,
exactly.
You set yourself up for that.
Yeah.
And he's literally the only thing that separates them between like chaos and the park running well. It's just one guy who runs all the code.
Yeah,
that's definitely,
he's an independent contractor too.
Yeah, I understand that he did like put in the code and push the buttons, but like, come on, like anyone like who runs a business knows that you have to have fail safes.
Maybe not 1993, I guess.
I guess not.
I don't know.
Yeah, but Nicole, you were telling me this too about like Nedry, like the idea that what was it that you were saying?
I think it was actually maybe how he was either it was a different way he was previously written in script, or maybe how he was written in the book.
Oh, in the book, yeah.
I don't remember. It was an IMDb trivia piece.
Oh, so essentially, like, there's more attention in the book given to like the corporate espionage kind of piece of it. Like, that is the catalyst of the story a little bit. But I think there's more of it. Like, InGen is only a thing
he
we see
wasn't
at
like,
the
I'm
very end
gonna
as the
fuck
company.
over this park. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't like, I'm gonna just turn off all the locks and like try and get out of here. I mean, it was really just sort of like him to like make $1 million or whatever off those dinosaur embryos, and he just kind of was in over his head.
Yeah, because again, he was like, they mentioned financial struggles, but basically, like, wasn't it? I think in the book, like Hammond sort of like
breached contract by like making him do more,
makes
or,
him
like,
do more
requesting to
for,
do more, and then like not asking for, or like not compensating him.
but
for
also
that.
messing up his reputation. So
oh
he
yeah, and
wouldn't
fucked
leave.
up his reputation,
Yeah.
so that way he couldn't work anywhere else.
Yeah,
So it was like, yeah, it was way dirtier in the book.
Yeah, it's way darker. Yeah.
I think it's interesting now that, like, since you said the words corporate espionage and me just thinking of the timeline, you know, it's 1993, and this really is kind of like this huge spike, and maybe when like that phrase came into the public consciousness, which is also why the cyberpunk board game was created right around that time.
Oh yeah,
and that's kind of one of the main things is like you hack into this corporation system and steal their secrets and sell it to a different corporation. It's like corporate espionage. So it just made me think of that. It's cool that theme was so core to this, and it was like right in that timeline.
That's a good point, because like they do make a point to talk about like hackers a couple times in the movie, like even when they're trying to like get into Nedry's computer and he has the thing, and Samuel L. Jackson's like, I hate this hacker shit.
Yeah,
but like then also like they make a point to show that Lex, the girl, is like a hacker, so she's able to like hack into the systems to do all that stuff too. Which also, speaking of, do you remember the part where like her little brother Tim like calls her a nerd for being a hacker?
Yeah,
and she's like, no, I'm a hacker, not a nerd.
But also he's like the kid who reads like, who compares and contrasts like paleontology textbooks.
Right.
Like they're both nerds, and it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Two different kinds.
Yeah, nerds rule.
Nerds versus geeks, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an important lesson that even if there's only two kids, a hierarchy will be established.
Right. Speaking of her with technology, like one of the things where I was like, oh my god, was when she like was in the car and they had a like a tiny TV,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's like, "Oh, they have interactive CD-ROM."
What does that mean?
At the time, I'm sure that was like cutting edge
Yeah.
technology, and like now it's so hokey and old school. It's just a step above like the little floppy disk drives, right?
Yeah.
I
And
will say,
it's so slow, and the 3D graphics and whatnot. Oh my god!
Having like a TV in the car was huge, probably. Too.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
some of that tech rules though. The night vision goggles.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah.
That shit looks so cool.
Oh yeah,
Are they heavy? Then
Probably.
they're expensive.
right.
Yeah.
That was a good line.
You're quoting.
Yeah. That was fun.
Mhm.
Do you guys have any other like favorite like moments or just elements of this film before we do like monster behind the scenes stuff?
Okay, when the T-Rex first emerges, like full image on the screen and does its roar, I mean, that's just, I don't know. I guess I kind of got chills. I was like, oh yeah, it was like exciting, even though I like knew it was coming.
The first roar.
It's just like that when it finally steps out of the, because you get little snippets. I mean, I know you're like, we're kind of laughing about like the goat leg, but like, honestly, I always assumed it was just accidental. Like he was just like tearing the goat apart, and the leg just kind of like happened to fall on there. I at no point was like, oh, that T-Rex threw that goat leg. At
Felt
the
like because you
Jeep.
saw its arm.
I don't know, whatever, but and just whatever. I think that moment kind of like sticks out, I guess. Also, I mean, like a lot of the T-Rex stuff, though, I guess, because like when it's that shot of it like getting closer to them in the rearview mirror of the Jeep when Jeff Goldblum's like, must go faster, like, and they're like,
Oh, great moment. Yeah.
yeah,
Great
I don't know.
moment.
I think the T-Rex really is kind of the star of the movie in a way,
Absolutely. But
And the
from-
ending.
and the
Okay.
ending, yeah.
The best part, though, for me, I think, for the T-Rex is the anticipation of the T-Rex. They do such a good job of cueing that up with the ripples in. I think the first is like a glass of water. The second time is the footprint of the T-Rex. There's water in that. The third time is the jello wiggling.
Yeah.
All three of these are sort of like you're sensing it, but you're not seeing it yet. And that's, to me, like my favorite part, I think, of the T-Rex. And it's something that's been sort of like copied and played off of in other films.
Well
So,
said. Yeah.
I love that part. Those parts.
Never look at water the same way in a cup.
Right.
That's signs for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yep.
God.
Yep. Good one.
Also, I mean, like the first time we see the Brachiosaurus too, though, like you said, it was pretty
Right.
cool.
For
Yeah,
sure.
it's so good.
But we already talked about that. So, how about you,
But
Joe?
I think two monster-specific moments in the film for me, there was just like, ooh, monster. Number one was not so scary. I think the kids were scared, and Dr. Grant said, they're herbivores, not monsters. And I was like, oh, here we go, monster podcast. We got that monster quote right in there.
So
the
funny.
other one for me, where it was like, was, and I don't remember this happening the first time I watched it, was when I don't remember the paleobotanist. I forget her character's name.
Ellie.
Dr. Sadler, Ellie.
Thank you, Sadler. That's right. She's running around, and she's running from a raptor in sort of like the under part of this building, and like an arm kind of lands on her, and she's like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. And then it's like she pulls it, and it's one severed arm, and it's like, that's a monster moment.
That's so cool.
That's such a monster moment.
That's a great moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I know I was like, oh, inspired science, but I also feel like there was kind of, you've asked me before, like kind of like monster movies and like kind of horror stuff. And now that I look back on it, I'm like, yeah, actually, I guess I was kind of watching horrific things when I was like 5.
Yeah.
Kind of primed us all, I think.
Yeah. That's a great point. That whole sequence that you're talking about too, Grant, like that was a really tense sequence. Yep. The whole like sprint to the shed. And I can't believe we didn't mention Muldoon, the hunter, too.
Oh, yeah.
And clever girl. That's scene. That part rules.
Clever girl rules.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Shall we monster Khalid?
Let's do it.
All right. So this one, as you can imagine, there are a lot of trivia pieces about behind the scenes, but I tried to distill it to a digestible snippets, we'll say. So I say let's monster, but Spielberg really sought to go beyond making this a monster movie, and this was kind of like his intent with it. This was a quote from production designer Rick Carter, who said they tried to find the animal in the dinosaur as opposed to the monster in the dinosaur. So kind of like what you're saying, Grant, that quote that Dr. Grant has. The idea was not to make them any less threatening, but rather to keep them from doing as much a monster shtick. Spielberg did hire a paleontologist, Jack Horner, as the guy to ensure the dinosaurs would be designed and portrayed accurately based on the kind of current knowledge as much as possible. So Horner, I don't know if anyone's heard of him, is an American paleontologist most famous for describing Maiasaura. He provided the first clear evidence that some dinosaurs cared for their young also in some of his research. Yeah. And he served as partial inspiration for the character of Dr. Grant. So certain concepts about dinosaurs were followed, like the theory that they evolved into birds and had less in common with lizards was noted in the movie. But it did prompt the removal because there was initial like tech of the raptors. They were going to have that little like lizard tongue and like lick their eyeballs kind of thing. But Horner was like, it's implausible. Take that out. So that was cool. I'm sure you guys all know this too. Despite the title being Jurassic Park, Brachiosaurus, Dilophosaurus are the only two were actually existing during the Jurassic period. Everything else is Cretaceous, but sounds better, right?
Didn't they say that in the movie too?
They did. I think they made the point to talk about it.
Or was that the honest trailer?
Well, maybe it was the pitch meeting.
Sorry.
I think Dr. Grant does say Cretaceous period when he's talking about the raptors to the kid in the beginning. Also a great scene, right?
Like scare.
Yeah, the scaring that child.
Oh my god, that is another really iconic scene.
That was good. Yeah,
weird.
It's hilarious.
I suppose it shows that like Dr. Grant is really bad with kids, right? Is that the point? I guess
it sets off his arc, right?
Sure. Yeah.
He's like, what does he say when they're walking away? You want kids? I don't want that kid.
Oh yeah, that was so funny and relatable.
Harsh,
It's so relatable.
So the dinosaurs themselves, the actual animals that we see on screen, were created like with a variety of VFX techniques that we've talked about on this podcast many times before, but they're brought together in some really interesting ways. So initially, Spielberg brought on Phil Tippett, who we've talked about before, specialized in stop motion mostly, and puppetry is kind of his vibe. So the initial idea was to have a combination of stop motion animation and CGI. So Industrial Lights and Magic was coming in to do the CGI modeling and rendering. So Phil Tippett pioneered a concept of stop motion called go motion. So if you guys, we just watched Clash of the Titans with stop motion, but like stop motion
literally like the opposite.
It has like a staccato to it, where it's like, because you're stopping the camera to make the movements. Mm-hmm. He created this technique called go motion, where it would allow for like lens blur. Because when you think of like how when we're in front of a camera, we're physically moving, so there's like that blur that happens. Mm-hmm. With go motion, he was able to like simulate that with the stop motion pieces to make it look slightly more realistic. So that was kind of his deal. He was like, I'm going to bring go motion to this. It's going to be a big like thing, right? But so we've seen stop motion before. Do you guys see any stop motion in this movie?
Not.
No.
Not that I can think of.
So they did not use it. They did not use the stop motion. So Spielberg later decided, after seeing the stop motion, that he did not think that was it. So he had seen Aliens, which another Aliens reference, and really loved the Alien Queen. So contacted Stan Winston's and brought Stan Winston's team on board to create large animatronics to have on set, so that we see like the Triceratops and other, even the T-Rex. They like made life-sized animatronic, like robotic kind of pieces that they could like maneuver, that were supposedly incredibly heavy and hard to move around. But they had to create those. Winston's crew created fully detailed models of the dinosaurs before ultimately molding latex skins, which were fitted over those complex robotics. So Phil Tippett, his style, like, so this was interesting because it was three very distinct styles of VFX, monster effects coming together, even though Tippett's wasn't used. But they did keep him on as a consultant because he had kind of like really physically been creating like dinosaur like molds and skeletons and stuff. So he actually ended up learning how to work with the CGI guys and became kind of a consultant. So Phil Tippett said something like, I hate working computers, but he ended up learning it to kind of continue working on the film as like a different kind of level. But I thought that was incredibly fascinating how we had like all those kind of like eras of VFX makers kind of coming together and doing this kind of thing to make it work, so it came together well. The only other like small little piece that I kind of want to talk about with the VFX is there was so many different ideas for how to do the stampede scenes and some of the T-Rex scenes. So like all the different VFX crews really wanted to have like a crack at it, right? So the CGI digital kind of was the one that they ended up going with for like some of the stampedes and stuff. So when they first saw the CGI of the stampede, Phil Tippett said to Spielberg, he said, "I think I'm extinct." Which is where they brought that line in there where I think Malcolm says to Grant, "I think you guys are extinct now." And there's another part where another behind the scenes tidbit where what was it? He said, "Oh, when they first saw the CGI rendering of some of the dinosaurs, one of the production designers said to Spielberg, he said, 'You son of a bitch, you did it,'" which is another line they gave to Malcolm when they see the Brachiosaurus the first time, right? But like those are all like real reactions, again, kind of hammering home that idea that was truly a wonder. So anyway, we briefly touched on it. You guys kind of said like the effects hold up, but like, given all that background, like, what do you guys think?
It's one of those things where it's like at the time, obviously, it was absolutely mind blowing. It still holds up fairly well, I feel like, when you look at the CGI. When you compare it to a lot of the CGI we have these days, like not quite as detailed. Obviously, you can kind of see more of the polygons and whatnot. But still, they captured a lot of the essence in that atmosphere and the lighting, like incredibly, considering it was 1993. One thing I will call out specifically that I definitely didn't caught when I was 4 years old, and I caught this time, was when it was the kitchen scene with the raptors. It kind of flips in and out between CGI and animatronic. And there are parts where it's like, ooh, look at those animatronic heads, and that's super scary. And then it switches to CGI, and they look a little bit goofy, and it kind of takes me out of the scary moment when I see the, like, I don't know. When everything's CGI, I'm like, it's fine. I can let myself go. But when you're flipping back and forth between the CGI and the animatronic, which looks better to me, that's when I notice it. And that's when I'm like, ooh, that didn't age quite as well.
It's continuity,
but overall, right? Those animatronics were fantastic. And overall, everything just looks really well. Still delivers this, as long as you're allowing yourself to be in the moment and just, I don't know, believe it and want it.
I think Grant brings up a really good point. The moments that endure in my memory from Jurassic Park are usually the animatronic moments with the dinosaurs. When I think of like when it's strikingly in there, when I think back on it, it's usually the animatronic shots. I think the CGI stuff is very good for its time, but the animatronics are really where this movie like sings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Special shout out to the hatching baby dinosaurs, by the way.
Oh, that puppetry was really cool.
It was really awesome.
How you like your eggs?
It kind of made me feel a little bit like the alien chest burster scene, like how gross that scene bursting, like the dinosaur bursting out of the egg was with the blood, and it's like so creepy with its big eyeballs and big teeth and everything. Yeah.
Wasn't
it was cool though?
A raptor, right? They find out that was a raptor baby.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you about the animatronics like really holding up. Like one of the images that always sticks in my mind is like Dr. Grant like leaning on the Triceratops and kind of going up with its breathing. Like it's just such a physically palpable scene. That's like that's there. Like that's just there. Like that's alive to me almost. That's so cool. And I do think like the Brachiosaurus CGI that first sequences is really cool. The stampede I think is one where you can kind of see the cracks in like the early CGI a little bit. Still looks really good and it's like really fun, but I still think I think that that's probably the most part, like you're saying, is where it holds up the least is some of those parts, but again still very detailed, still really cool.
Yeah
We didn't really even touch on the fact that The whole thing about all the dinosaurs were female.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that whole bit, they're not supposed to be able to reproduce, but life finds a
Definitely
way.
missed that, and I missed it when I was 4, and I don't think anyone's talked about it. Like since nobody ever brings up, hey, wasn't it interesting in Jurassic Park where like the dinosaurs suddenly like one of them was male when they were all female before? So watching it this time, I was like, oh, that's apparently like a central plot thing that we're supposed to notice, and it is a thing of like a Grant. Dr. Grant like goes through that and he's like, wow, life really did find a way to kind of like hark back to what Ian had said earlier. So that was
Wasn't it Ian in the beginning was like, are you sure? Are you sure,
They're all female?
You're
Yeah.
sure. Like the joke about did you check up the skirt of every dinosaur? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I would be pissed if I was those scientists. Like, they didn't know shit was gonna go wrong. So it's like you got these like 3 hottie scientists coming in. You think it's gonna be like they're all so pressed and like you guys did good, and then they're just like poo-pooing on this like literal miracle you've created on an island. Like,
that's such a good point.
But like as soon as Dr. Grant finds the eggs and he's like sort of marveling at it, and the kids are like, I thought all the dinosaurs were girls. And then he's like, oh,
he's
yeah.
right.
Amphibians.
But is he also a hater?
Well, like, no, it's like it takes him like 3 seconds to be like, oh, yeah, amphibians.
blood,
like,
yeah,
so
DNA.
they can like swap out like their their sex or whatever, or
Right.
change sex. And like, I'm like, it took him 3 seconds to figure out, and like not this entire team doing this.
Right.
I
The
don't know.
scientists didn't even consider that
The
possibility.
experts.
Did you catch the foreshadowing? I pointed it out to you.
Oh, come on.
It's totally intentional.
Whatever. Go ahead. You
The
don't
seatbelt
share it.
scene.
I'm not going to take part in this.
The seatbelt scene.
Oh,
Remember
where
how
he
that-
has to tie it.
Yeah, it's 2 female ends of the seatbelt, and he has to
God.
they
What?
find a way.
Oh
Life finds a
my
way.
god, I definitely missed that.
Yeah.
I'm fine
No.
with missing that.
That's crazy.
I'm okay with it.
Was that intentional, or just something that fans came up with later?
I don't know. It feels intentional. Like, why else
Sure
did
does.
they have that happen?
Right.
The production design team was very swamped that day.
So much.
They
Okay.
just had to write it in.
They just kept it in.
They spared no expense except for, I guess.
The seatbelts on the
Seatbelts
helicopter.
on the
Yeah, they spared no expense except for the very detrimental expenses they spared. That's the name. That should be what he actually says.
Right.
Speaking of female and male parts, Khalid.
Oh, God.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody else gets to react to these. It's gross.
I'm always reacting when I'm listening, just so you
Is
know.
this the flirt thing?
Yeah.
Khalid, would you fight with or would you flirt with John Hammond?
He is the big
They're
monster.
the least hot one of the bunch.
Well, that's a hard question.
You dishonor Attenborough.
What?
You dishonor Attenborough.
Yeah, you
I'm
do.
sorry. He's the sixth man on a very hot basketball team. I don't know. I wouldn't.
What's fight or flirt for those of you who are listening?
What?
Exactly what it sounds like.
What is fight or flirt? You always explain it. But you didn't explain it.
Sorry. You threw me off with making John Hammond the person I have to fight or flirt. Fight or flirt, for those of you who are listening for the first time, is kind of exactly what it sounds like. Would I fight with the monster in question, or would I flirt with them to survive? Do you actually have an answer for John Hammond? Why?
I don't know. I just
He's just a
I
dude.
throw a curveball.
I guess I'd fight him. He's an old man. Nothing in the movie has led me to believe it would be that hard to fight him.
All right.
What about you?
Because I don't actually know what your answer would be with dinosaurs. Like I don't know how you would flirt with the
Okay,
dinosaurs.
flirt with the Velociraptor, though.
Okay, you have
I did
Clever
think
girl.
about it already.
clever girl.
Yeah, I would just not treat the velociraptors like shit. Like that's one thing.
Right.
I think I could flirt with the velociraptors.
They've been abused by that the Kenyan hunter their whole life. They
Well,
just
yeah.
needed some TLC. That's
They're
honestly it.
clearly like just hungry for like discipline and like a little bit more of a structured day. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about the
Somebody to
T-Rex,
rub
though?
their feet, their big claws.
T-Rex is hard because I'm like, I think it's pretty. I don't think you fight that, but I'm also like, I'm not really sure T-Rex has the intelligence to flirt. I think I would just like feed it and then run away.
I don't know.
Get it,
T-Rex
go.
is like kind of obsessed with Dr. Grant, and I'm not going to compete with any of the 3 hot scientists. I'm just not going to do that to myself.
All right, fair enough. I like
Yeah.
it. You did find a way to fight or flirt the dinosaurs, huh?
Like life, it finds a way.
Life found a way. Well
Yeah.
said.
It did.
Yeah. You guys have any final thoughts on Jurassic Park?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Yes,
Don't
please,
make-
scientists.
don't make
if
don't
you're
do a Jurassic
listening,
Park?
Don't
Yeah,
do
don't
it.
make one.
It's one of those things where it's like having not seen it or paid that much attention to it. One thing that I was like really surprised by was how many like big blockbuster actors were in this.
Yeah.
Like there were very few actors that were not big names, and I was just like, wow, another awesome guy that I was like, I forgot that Samuel L. Jackson was in this, and he was awesome. So I loved seeing so many cool actors in this and how much personality they each had in this. It just landed so well. They meshed very well. It was awesome.
The cast is absolutely iconic, and I don't think all of them were entirely like that household names at the time too. Like I think Sam Neill as Dr. Grant, like he had a pretty long history of doing a lot of horror movies. Like he was
Sure.
in Possession in the 80s, there's a couple other ones. He did Event Horizon right around this time too. But
Oh
like,
yeah. Oof, man,
Yeah.
that's a crazy one.
that's a good one to do a double feature of Jurassic Park with, huh?
Oh yeah.
But, but like I think like a lot of Jurassic Park kind of catapulted some of these guys to even further stardom. I know Jeff Goldblum was already pretty big with The Fly and stuff.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, it's an amazing cast. That's absolutely true. It's cool to watch.
I'm glad that Spielberg made it and that it was sort of family friendly enough. Like, I mean, I do think it has like some horror aspects, but it's not like full blown, and like it's kind of paired with that like wonder and discovery kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I feel like I'm glad, because I don't know if I would have watched James Cameron's version as a kid. You know, probably
Yeah.
not. I don't know about you. You may still have, but
It might
I
not have
would
been as iconic. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, in a pre-Avatar world, I feel like it would only be a terrifying version.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad the movie exists. Like I said, I feel like it's
Absolutely.
I don't know, it's a landmark, I think, in like our, especially like movie culture and cinema culture and just in general, like science and all that. Like it kind of, I feel like it is what is it, the Library of it's like one of those films that's been preserved for, you know, I guess if
Yeah, in the Library of Congress. Yeah.
aliens ever come find Earth and are like, what were humans like?
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Are you any of you more motivated or less motivated to watch the sequels now?
Wes.
Less.
I'm good. I've
I think
surprisingly
Brent were
seen
with us.
most of the sequels in this group, other than you, I think.
Yeah. No, I haven't. I've only seen those first couple. I would rewatch The Lost World.
I would
again.
maybe consider that one.
Yeah. I don't know.
You have
Yeah.
to pitch it to me.
It's
don't
not
know.
bad. It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm open to that one. I think
Yeah.
maybe.
I think did Spielberg direct the second one as well?
Did he?
I thought, I'm not certain. I think he produced the first three for sure, but I thought he might have directed the second one as well. So, but I don't know. It's nowhere near as good, but there's still like a lot of really cool effects, and it's a Jeff Goldblum starring vehicle, so that's cool.
Good.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Steven Spielberg. So it's worth it. Vince Vaughn's in it too.
So forebears with amphibian DNA or the dinosaurs.
Oh, Khalid, bring it back.
Are you saying which one would I rather fight, or
Right,
like,
yeah,
would
yeah.
the story work the same?
Would the story work the same?
If it was four bears that
With forebears with amphibian DNA, yes.
so like hermaphrodite bears that can
Yeah,
like
yeah.
self-replicate.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
that
the four
feels
bears
like
test,
it'd be,
Khalid?
that feels like it would be. I'm not explaining that way. But four bears. What would happen if you replace the monsters in question with four bears? Is it the same movie or not? We stopped it for a reason. No, it would not be the same movie. There's way more than four bears worth of dinosaurs in this. I mean, a shitty amusement park for starters.
But they're self-replicating.
Yeah, they're self-replicating. I guess like if you want to like promise like attendance if they like wait 20 years, they'll come back to like 16 bears.
Maybe it was four bears for every dinosaur.
It's also just not the same threat. Like I don't think even four bears amount to one T-Rex in terms of like threat to me.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I'm just like giving the T-Rex too much credit. I don't know.
No, I think you're on track.
Yeah.
All right. Well said. Shall we move on to our final segment of the show?
Let's do it.
Our last segment of Frankenstein's podcast is our What the Fandom segment, in which we share 1 to 2, or in Khalid's case, sometimes 3 things that we are just into that we want to share with you guys. We usually let our guests go last, but Khalid, why don't you start us off? What the fandom with you?
Thanks for asking, Joe. Rudely, but thank you. My one what the fandom this week is going to be another Jeff Goldblum vehicle.
Ooh.
It's the one season wonder on Netflix, Chaos.
That's so weird.
Is
Chaos.
it?
Yeah.
That's like the title we were just talking.
Chaos Theory, right?
Oh,
Mhm.
that is,
Spelled
that's
differently, but-
crazy.
Is it really?
It's spelled different, yeah, with a K.
Why? Never mind.
Greek stuff. It's good though. It's a show where Jeff Goldblum plays Zeus, and it's kind of a modern telling of it. So it's like, what if it's like 2024 and Greek gods are real? So it's kind of got like the same conceit as the Boys, where instead of like billionaires or a ruling class, you just have like magical superpowered people fucking with your life, and they kind of tackle the tougher questions through that. But what I liked about the show is that it still stays pretty faithful to like the spirit of Greek mythology, and it does a really good job like kind of reinventing the characters for a modern lens. Unfortunately, it only lasted 1 season, but I think they did a really good job of casting it for starters. But it's like it's just a bunch of really good actors. They get to just sit in rooms and have like amazing, like grand philosophical conversations. And it kind of reminded me of Good Omens in that way, but it definitely is doing its own thing. And there's still just like a really fun, compelling, like overall plot that you're like racing up against. And so for a 1 season thing, it's very good, very watchable. It's a bummer that you don't get more, but you do feel satisfied at the end of it. So Joe, what the fandom with you?
Thanks for asking, Khalid. I am going to throw a curveball, and I'm going to recommend a game. I've never done that before.
Nice.
Yeah, so we recently, I mentioned this on a podcast previously, we got a Switch. Our daughter kind of helped save up. I matched like half of it, and she saved up some of it. We bought a Switch.
With money we paid her.
Paid her, yeah. So I guess we paid for it all. But it's been really fun. She's been really into some of the Mario games lately. That's been really fun to see. Cool. The classic, because you can download on the Switch if you have an account. You can get like some of the old like NES games or N64 games for free, pretty much with the account. But the one I'm actually going to recommend is one that we downloaded recently called Spiritfarer, which is kind of I would say it's like a cozy like management kind of game where you play a character who takes over for like Charon, who sails people to the afterlife, right? In like that Greek mythology, but it's not really based in Greek mythology, but you're taking over as like this kind of farer of spirits in the afterlife. And essentially what you do is you get a boat and you get to kind of build your boat. You can build like gardens, you can build guest houses, all sorts of like woodworking places. And you kind of have this like day-to-day tending to the things on your boat, and you go into various missions. You meet spirits and you learn their stories, and you kind of make them comfortable until they're ready to go on, essentially. And you bring them to where they pass on. And so it's from what I've heard and from what I've read some of the reviews, it can be really emotional for people because like it reflects like if you experience loss, if you experience like moving on from many of these things, like you can kind of see that there, and it can be really healing for some people, I think. But it's I'm a little ways into it, and I'm working on my ship and making it a really cool place, and I've got like 3 or 4 spirits on my boat that I've been kind of like getting to know. And it's almost like I'm thinking about it. It's like, oh my gosh, like when I actually do have to like bring one of them because they're ready, I could see that being pretty like heavy hitting as a gamer. So again, I'm new to getting back into the gaming world. I talked about this before. Like I used to be more of a bigger gamer in like high school and like early college, but just kind of was one of the things that had to kind of go away in a busy lifestyle. But now that we're kind of back into it, it's just like a whole new world of like creativity with video games that I'm learning about. And this is like a kind of a game that I don't think I would have even thought about to play when I was younger, but it's delightful. It's cozy. The music is really nice. The stories are really touching, really cool to look at. So I got it on sale in the Switch store when it was probably a couple weeks ago, but I don't know if it's still on sale, but it's worth it, I'd say. So check out Spiritfarer. How about you, Nicole? What's the fandom with you?
Thanks for asking, Joe. I'm going to do something kind of outside of the typical things that are recommended. Not that it needs any added advertisement, but I'm gonna plug and fangirl out about the Minnesota State Fair because it's a good time. I feel like there's always something new to explore or to figure out or see when we go. We try to go 2 times a year now, once with the kids all together, and then once just Joe and I.
Oh, nice. I didn't know you guys do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I feel like we kind of like. Oh, also like if you have not seen the crop art or the seed art, like always make time for that because
It's better every year.
gets better every year. Yeah, it's like inherently anti-capitalist. It's great. So yeah, check that out. The food, always fun. Like it's always kind of like I don't know, at work whenever the new state fair foods for that year are like released, like we're all getting together and we're like, oh yeah, I just see that one. Yeah, that one looks super weird, or like, oh, can't wait to try that one. So it's kind of just like a little like nerdy Minnesota thing. And also always new beers and stuff. I could go on and on, but I will like quiet it down a little bit. But anyway, it's ends tomorrow, Labor Day. So come back next year to the fair. If you didn't make it this year or you're from out of town, it's worth coming into town for. Anyway,
I did get
Fair
FOMO
rules.
from all of the stories of people going to the fair this year.
You miss it.
I did.
yeah, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
come back next time around this
For
time
sure.
of year.
For sure. I think the kids have been almost every single year of their life. Almost.
Almost COVID kind of really messed
COVID.
that up, and then like the following year, I was
Yeah.
pregnant with our second. But I took our daughter when she was like 4 weeks old. So yeah, that's how hardcore. Lots of babies at the fair though. You'd be so surprised.
There are, yeah.
So yeah, it's a family. It's a good family time. There's like music all over the place. There's concerts at the grandstand, like all 12 days practically of some sort. So like entertainment for anybody and everybody. So anyway, Minnesota State Fair. It's a great time. Anyway, are you gonna say one more thing?
Grant.
I can say it. I was going to
I
say
don't know. I
Grant.
want me to be the host.
Grant, what the fandom with you?
Well said.
Thanks for asking, Nicole. So I'm hoping to make the state fair tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Everything's up in the air right now. But there's a couple things that have basically taken all of my time. Obviously, the main thing is becoming a parent, and that's been like everything since last winter, right? And this is the reason why I'm saying this is like, why is this a fandom and not just like a thing that's in my life? Is because I didn't want to be a parent for most of my life. Like, as a teenager, had no interest in kids. And in my 20s, it was the same way. And then when I met my wife, she wanted like 4 kids. I wanted 0. And then, but we loved each other and we said, let's stick together and see what happens. And we kind of came to the center a little bit. She moved, I think, towards like 2 and I moved towards 1. And so we've got 1 now. And I love it so much. And, we went through classes and stuff that helped me prepare for it. And I read all the books and stuff. And we're both in our like mid-30s. And so that gave us plenty of time to prepare and get ready. And I feel like that's what helped me get there and basically do a completely 180 from who I was in the past, being like totally anti-kid. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. There's plenty of struggles, of course, always with it, but it's so amazing and I love it. I'm so happy with that. And happy with him. He's so incredible. And he's fast asleep right now, thankfully. The other thing is that I haven't really talked about with anyone because it's kind of been low key and just in the background and sort of dialing up, is that I've been working on sort of my own Dungeons and Dragons campaign world sort of thing. But I it's one of those things where it's like I write a little bit and then I go focus on other things. Then I come back to it in like a month and whatnot. And so I've been dialing up since basically I stopped running Dungeons and Dragons back in January as it was getting closer to the birth. And much to my players' chagrin, right? But I was like, well, I love Dungeons and Dragons and I want to keep doing that when I have time and focusing on that since I can kind of get us there. And the way I'm running this is sort of slightly time travel-y, and this is going to allow it to be a lot more flexible. Instead of having one campaign where I have just the same players every week, I can be able to hot swap people out left and right and have flexibility without it feeling cheap. Right. I want it to feel like there is a very good reason for that, and for this world to feel very real and tangible and make sense. So I've been working on this setting for years, and I'm not going to share any other details about it besides that it is time travel-y, and that I have made some really concrete concepts that make it so there's no real like time paradoxes or anything like that. And they're really unique. I haven't found anything online that's quite like what I've come up with. So I'm really excited to get this to a point where I can kind of unveil it and start to run it, and maybe even get it to a point where I can make this something that'd be like on World Anvil or something online, where other people can use that and maybe chip in a little bit of money for it at some point. So very excited to continue to build that up.
Cool.
So your two What the Fandoms are Dungeons and Dragons and just fatherhood.
Yep. That's it. Exactly.
Love it. I love that.
Yep. World building and fatherhood. Yeah.
People building. Huh?
That's all.
Yeah. People building, world building.
Those worlds need people.
They do. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Grant. That was super cool. Thank you and Nikki so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you both.
A little bit of housekeeping before we close out. Just want to give another special thank you to all of our patrons, especially our newest one, Adam Merrick. I know his name. Thank you, Adam. And yeah, if you guys want to be patrons as well, it's really easy. There's a $1 tier, there's a $3 tier, and there's a $7 tier. Any amount you can contribute would be much appreciated. It helps us keep the lights on, do all of the little things like get like new equipment when we need it. It helps with the servers, all of that fun sausage making stuff that I love to talk about. And yeah, so thank you all again for listening to another discussion of Frankenstein's podcast. Until next time, creep it easy.